Hey guys, it's WQQQQ coming out with another WQ chapter review. And this one's about Boku no Hero Academia 103. I gotta say, I actually really like this chapter. I'm really excited about this arc. I started off pretty well. Now, admittedly, near the end, I thought like page 18 was like really climactic. I was like, whoa, this could be crazy. Page 19 and page 20, it seemed more like, you know what, this isn't going to be that big of a deal. It seems like the students are going to come together. Personally, I think something's going to come out of this training arc. There's a lot of like mysterious dialogue in this chapter that you can read under, you can read more, and so I'm going to go into some of that. I feel like the most obvious thing I got to lay out there, the Shindo character. I think absolutely this character has an ability with his hands, and I didn't come up with this. So someone's going to like say, hey, WQ, I initially came up with that. Honestly, I'm probably ripping you off, but I think it's fairly obvious anyway, so it's like, it has to be said. Plus, look at Miss Joke, or Joke. I guess it's Joke, because Joke K doesn't make any sense. So I think it's Joke. I mean, look what she says. Her quirk is called Roaring Laughter by forcing people to laugh. She impairs their cognitive and motor skills, right? So, and she's trying to get people to laugh. Now, then we're immediately introduced to Shindo. Shindo is trying to get people to shake his hand. And notice also he does touch both of his hands. When he shakes people's hands, he touches them with both of his hands. You really gotta wonder what his quirk is. I mean, what exactly did he do? Now, he didn't touch Bakugo, so I think that's definitely gonna be a point later, maybe during one-on-one battles. On page 8, Kaminari says, what a refreshingly straightforward, cool dude, referring to Shindo. Shindo's obviously not straightforward, and he's obviously has more going on. So is that kind of a secret message behind Kaminari? Because Kaminari is a hot topic lately. So, yeah, I don't think that. I think definitely there could be more going on there. It's hard to say, but I think you should point that out. Another thing, actually, on page 9, Jiro says, how do I put it? Meeting people outside of UA makes you kind of think. And then Kaminari says, UA students are pretty famous after all, huh? And actually, guys, I've got to say, Kyoka's art this chapter is better than it has been in previous chapters. I liked her art pretty much all the whole series I've read so far. But this chapter, I thought she looked much better than previously. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like the dimensions of her face. Maybe it's her clothing. I'm not really sure, but I thought she looked really good. But who cares about that? My point is, look at Jiro and Kaminari in the same frame, and they're kind of finishing each other's sentences. Now they are kind of a thing that is kind of a thing, but and this is what's interesting. Both of their abilities combined kind of would solve the traitor theories. Individually, I think they could pull it off, but they're kind of missing some entities there. Combined, they could pull it off. Now, there's tons of, if you follow my reviews, I always talk about how Mina, last chapter, I think it was 102, she was talking, maybe it was 101, she was talking about how she could relate a love story to anything. Now we're seeing Jiro and Kaminari, and they're together. So for me, what do I think? I think there's more to that. I think that panel was put there purposely. Also, look at the beginning of this chapter. The Miss Joke, she's trying to pretend fake fall in love with Aizawa. I was laughing through the whole thing. I mean, good thing I'm not a teacher. But another, it's like this whole love identity that Horikoshi's really trying to push in these past 5 chapters. He's really trying to push it, and I'm not sure why. I know it has something to do with the traitor. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It could possibly deal with Ochako and Deku. Possibly it could deal with the Himiko Toga, because she talked to Ochako about, you love Deku, right? And we don't know her quirk, so maybe she did something to Ochako. Maybe there's something going on. She is a villain, so if there is a traitor, possibly she has something to do with that. I was thinking possibly it has something to do with Jiro and Kaminari also. On page 16, Bakugo says, this isn't a field trip, dumbasses. So, I don't know. For me, I'm not really sure if that means anything or if that could mean anything, but when I read that, you only think of the field trip arc, and the big thing about the field trip arc was the invasion of the League of Villains. And more importantly, the traitor, because it was why that happened at all was the traitor, and that has bigger implications. Truthfully, that does have bigger implications down the line. The actual what happened as a result of the kidnapping of Bakugo, it wasn't the biggest deal. At the end of the day, I know there's always going to be someone who says, well, you're wrong, it was a big deal. I mean, really look at it. It wasn't that big of a deal. Everyone survived. All Might lost his power. His power was going now anyway. Actually, they caught One for All. I actually still think that was a victory. Even though they say it was a loss, I just don't see it at all. Anyway, check this out on page 11. You can see Kenpachi on the right, it looks like, and on the far right, it looks like, I don't know, is that a Digimon? Is that maybe that kind of looks like Deku's costume? I don't know. I think that's just for fun. There's probably more like little Easter eggs in all these. Like, yeah, in the middle, on the left a little, that kind of looks like Enel from One Piece. I'm sure there's a lot of goofy little, and there's a mushroom in there too, so, and I guess have fun looking for the fun stuff. I'm sure there'll be some memes on Facebook about that crap. What do you think about this chapter? Dude, what do you think about this chapter? I kind of say I liked it. I liked the chapter. I thought it was interesting. I thought introducing all these characters was interesting. I liked seeing Anasa again, although it seems like Anasa's, he was just being crazy to, I don't know if that guy's like actually crazy or if he just was doing that as the rest of the everyone else was. They were just trying to like scope out the UA so they can body them at the start. But whatever. I can't say all of UA is gonna make it. I don't think all of UA is gonna make it through this thing. I just don't see it. And actually, as far as the plot goes, the plot doesn't need them all to make it because this is for your provisional license. The only people that need a provisional license as far as the plot goes is like Deku, Todoroki, Momo possibly, Ida possibly, like Bakugo, because they're the only ones that are going to be fighting actual villains. So it's like, I don't really see like people like Sero Hunter, even though I like Sero Hunter enough. If he doesn't get his provisional license, not really a big deal, Yaoyama, the belly beam guy. What about like Mineta? If they don't get their provisional license, I just don't see it. I think Tsu's gonna get her provisional license, if you ask me, because look at this battlefield. It's all terrain. I mean, she's gonna go to the water terrain and just body folks. Like, she's a hardcore beast in the water, and I don't see anyone getting near her in the water. Also, I strongly think Deku's gonna make it. I've been talking about this for a while. One of Deku's potential feats is movement speed, is combat speed, because he's able to, move his muscles a lot or something. So he should be extremely fast, sort of like All Might, right? But we haven't seen that at all from Deku. Now, like 2 chapters ago, we got, maybe it was 1 chapter ago, I think it was 2, we got the leg stuff, and it's like, okay, perfect. We're going into the speed feats with Deku, and this chapter, like, I only see speed feats coming out of Deku. I just don't see anything else. Because, I mean, he's supposed to be dodging shit. Like, I mean, come on, this guy's got legs. He's got legs, like Usain Bolt level. Is Deku still a nerd? Absolutely. I just don't see any way this dude's, like, he's not swimming in pussy. Not yet. Maybe Ochaku is, like, gonna help him out a little bit. But as far as that goes, Deku's still, like, hella nerdy. And, I mean, that kind of, the reason I bring that up, because Baku, instead of just tasteless jokes, Bakugo is actually seems to be like the cool guy, the main character. I mean, I'm hyped for Bakugo. I'm more hyped for like, what is he gonna do? Who is he gonna fight? And also, is Bakugo not gonna make it through this test? I could so totally see someone like Bakugo failing, because how does this quirk help him not get hit by balls? Like, I just don't see swimming in balls now. I just don't see him how his quirk does anything for that. I mean, I guess the explosions could get them away from him. I mean, it makes some sense, but in reality, I just don't see it. Now, go back like a lot of chapters, like 80 chapters or something, 90 chapters, and we had that when the students were testing out their quirks for the very first time, and like they were supposed to like run, and like Bakugo used the explosions to speed them up. I thought that was like, what the fuck is this, But so maybe we'll get something similar to that. Oh yeah, I was gonna say one more thing. This is actually kind of cool. I think there's definitely possibly a traitor or someone of the Villain Alliance in this pool of students. I mean, it's 1,540 students, right? Totally think there's someone in this pool that is trying to do reconnaissance. And the other reason I think that a villain would probably be doing that is to like, because there's one of these students very likely is a traitor, and so they're trying to like, hey, scope him out, get information, trying to figure out possibly the next step, and the plan, just, come together. Deku wanted them to stay in a group, and then Bakugo and Todoroki actually gave legitimate reasons to not. And Bakugo didn't really give a reason, but consistently Sky has not given reasons for logical things. And it was the same with Shindo. It was the same against Ochako Uraka when he was battling her. He didn't take her seriously, and everyone was like, Bakugo, you're being too mean. Not in reality, that's not the case at all, and I think Bakugo is kind of doing the same thing here. As far as the story goes, it would benefit the traitor to not be with the group, because then, assuming there is a villain, someone of the Villain Alliance in this pool of students, and they're trying to like meet together and get info. So it reminded me a lot of Hunter x Hunter and the Hunter exam license event with Irumi and Killua, right? It definitely reminded me of that. If you haven't seen it, great arc. Go read that shit or watch it. Watch the anime. Anyway, guys, I hope you like my review. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe. I'm trying to get some crazy Boku no Hero theories. I think next week. I think this arc is gonna be fire. I think next week the whole building's gonna burn down. All of California is gonna go up in flames over this next chapter next week. So anyway, I'm gonna peace out here.
It makes me think like a criminal, the suffering. When, where,